Good morning, folks. We're back out at Dad's shop today, and today I am going to be working on a lantern that I made a video of clear back last December. On December 27th was when it came out, and it is, lantern piece is right in the way. Oh my god. This is the one that I had super glued the globe back together on, and apparently the super glue let go. I do have a replacement globe for this at home. But yeah, I had super glued that globe back together a couple years ago. My wife got this for me for Christmas. Was it?
Your birthday.
No, it was for Christmas. Yeah, it was for Christmas. It's my birthday lantern.
Yes,
but she got it for me for Christmas 2 years ago, and I super glued the broken globe on it then. And then last year at Christmas time, I had to replace the Schrader valve in this because it was messing up, which is a common problem on these lanterns.
I don't have any crushed super glue.
I think I do in my toolkit there. Yeah, I had super glued that and it held together for a while, but it let go again. I'll try super gluing it back together. The only reason I kept using this is because it's a picket fence globe, but I'll try super gluing it back together, and then when I get home, I've got my spare globe for this in one of my propane lanterns that takes this same globe. I'll just swap it out and put this super glued one that I don't actually use back in that lantern that just hangs in the rafters, and put the good one in here. Anyhow, last December when I did the video on this, you can see there is no generator in it because after I did the video on this, it screwed up the generator. I show it in the end of the video. I will put a link to that video in the description of this one, but it's almost like it melted the tip cleaner rod that goes up the center of the generator. The first generator I had put in there was a made in China one that I bought off Amazon. I was trying that out, so I blamed it on that at first. Then I switched it out and put another one in, and it kind of did the same thing. So I don't know if the second one I put in there, I know I didn't have any new ones at the time, which I still don't. I haven't bought any more new generators the correct size to fit this, or like a 220, 228, they all take the same generator. Haven't bought any new ones, but I've got a couple of parts lanterns here that I'm gonna steal a generator out of, take it apart, make sure it's all good and looks good, and it's a good old heavy duty generator. We'll slap that in there, see if we can get this going. Then I've also got another 275 here that is a parts lantern, and a buddy of mine needs the fuel pickup tube out of it. So after I get this one going, we're going to tear that one down, pull that fuel pickup tube out of there so he can get the 275 that he's got as his birthday lantern. So I told him that I had the correct parts for it. I think I bought that lantern as a parts lantern, but I think it's still got the pickup tube in it. I'll tear that out and I can send that to him if it has the part that he needs. But the first thing we're going to do is get one of these. I brought in two really bad shape parts lanterns. That one's bad. This one's really bad. But they both got generators in them. So before I hang them back up out in the rafters, which is, we don't really part out these lanterns usually. Some of them I have, but most often we just take the parts we want, and whatever's left, we hang back up out in the rafters. And then when you need another part, I know which ones are junk parts lanterns. You can go out there and just look and see which one has the parts you need and go rob the parts off of it. But
yeah, that one looks pretty dull.
yeah, this one's getting down to where there's not much left for parts to take off of it. But I'm gonna pull the generator off of that one, pull the generator off of this one. We'll clean them both up good, throw them in my drawer of my lantern toolbox. But yeah, this poor old thing is just not much left of it, that's for sure. And I think that this might be I think this cage was not even on this lantern. Maybe it was. I don't remember. We've got so many of them, but
I should have took better care of that.
yeah.
Is that a red 3-piece cap on it, or?
Yep.
Yeah. But missing the screw?
Yep. I don't even know if that was on there, if that was just something we threaded back on there, but poor old thing is been through it, that's for sure. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is super glue this old globe back together here. See if it'll hold up enough to at least test burn this thing, and like I said, I'll take it home and put this globe on the one that's got the replacement globe that I bought is a made in Mexico globe. I've got one on, I can't remember what model, the brown single mantle lantern that I bought that is a Canadian model. Can't remember what model number that is, but I put one of the made in Mexico ones on that, and I've got one more of them. Like I said, I had I can't remember what model those propane lanterns are that use this same globe, but I had one of those at home that had no globe on it, so I just stuck the replacement globe on there until I would need it for something. So I'll put this super glued picket fence globe back on that and just hang it back up in the rafters, and put the made in Mexico one on this so it doesn't fall apart again. Now we got some super glue on that. We'll set it off to the side back here. Let that dry while we're doing the rest of this. Just gonna pull the generators. The heck? Having an avalanche under the bench. Pull the generators off of both of these and we'll clean them both up good. Whichever one looks better of the two I'll put in here, and the other one I'll put in with all my other parts. Yeah, this poor old thing's getting to the point where there's not much left to rob off of it. But it does still have the directions disc on the valve wheel, and probably the whole valve assembly itself is still fine, so it's still worth hanging around if you got a place to throw it up in the rafters and have it up out of sight and out of mind. It's not taking up much room, and there are still good parts on it. This is definitely one that most people would just part out and put the parts in a box instead of keeping the lantern around.
I think it comes from a free pile of junk that something I picked up.
That's interesting. It doesn't even have
A clean tube or
a
valve.
tip cleaner lever on it, so I there we go. Got the generator out of that too. I had to bend what's left of that poor air tube back to be able to get it out of there. It didn't want to come out since I couldn't raise the tip cleaner up. There's two old generators that we can clean up, and I'm sure both of them will still probably be functional. We'll pull both of them apart and look at the insides of them quick. Yeah, everything's straight and looks like it should still work. He goes back to his favorite thing. Keeps him entertained, that's for sure.
I don't know what he's gonna do if he ever catches that.
Yeah, I figured that. That thing is so crusty. When I tried to take it apart, it broke off. I was afraid of that, and that would have ended up just being chunks going into the tip cleaner, I'm guessing. Look at, I cannot see any light through the tip, and it's filthy dirty. If I can see well enough to run this tip cleaner backwards through that hole. There we go. Now I can see daylight through it. Spray a little carb cleaner through that, and then I'm going to clean the whole thing up a little bit here. It really doesn't make much difference to actually shine this up, but I got everything right here, and it's not going to hurt anything, so I'll give it a quick cleaning up here. Make it look slightly better. This is getting pretty fancy for me. I usually don't like to shine anything on the lantern, but
It's brass, it's gotta look good.
oh, that towel. Old brown towel's awfully dirty.
Yeah, I should have threw it in the wash.
Okay. The little spring that goes down the middle of this cardboard looking tube that's in these generators, I broke that spring off. It's rusty as hell. I was afraid of that, and those flakes of rust are just going to come off and get in the tip cleaner anyway, so I'm going to throw that away. And I am going to use one of these cheapo made in China junk generators that didn't work well. I have found that the tip cleaners in these will work in, like if you've got an old generator, but I'm going to use the packing in the spring out of one of those. But the tip cleaners are the exact same size as the tip cleaners in the old ones. But I'm going to clean up this old tip cleaner because I don't know if the problem I'm having is because of these made in China tip cleaners or not. So I'm going to put that back inside of this made in China one, throw it back in with my parts. I have used a tip cleaner out of one of those made in Chinas in a different lantern though, and not had any issues with it. But for this one, since I've already been having issues, I'm going to stick with one of the old tip cleaner rods that I know should be good. Okay, there we go. So we're going to use the tip that I took off of there, put it back on. Snug it down, and then put this packing out of the, I don't know if you really call it a packing, whatever it is, the spring and the tube out of the made in China generator. Slide it on there. Put that back together. There we go. Might as well clean up this jam nut just a little bit too. If I cleaned everything else, I might as well spend a second and clean that. Okay, that's good enough. Looks nicer. Should be functional. I think before I put that together, I'll just do the exact same thing with this one. I'll pull it all apart, clean it all up, because I'm going to put it, like I said, in with my parts inventory here in my little parts toolbox. Ooh, that one. Ooh, boy. I can't even get the tip cleaner rod to turn in that one. Try heating that up a little bit. That thing is stuck together. This one may be actually junk. Hard to believe those lanterns were both in pretty great shape.
Should have cleaned it up.
I haven't cleaned this one up
Oh,
yet.
okay, well, in good shape.
It's getting too hot to touch, that's for sure.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, that's seized right in there. Oh, yeah. That's not good. Only about the bottom inch of it came out. Well, what we can do on that one, save the tip off of it.
And that.
Yep. Throw those in my drawer with all my generators. And that's the story of that one. All right, now let's put this generator that I rebuilt back in here and see if this will fire up. And if it does, we'll let it burn for a few minutes while we try to get the parts that my buddy needs off of this other 275 parts lantern. Get the top of the generator tucked up in the hole. Yeah, these have got goofy tip cleaners. Let me make sure there's no pressure, because to get the tip cleaner to come up, you got to turn the fuel valve a little bit. When you light these, it automatically runs the tip cleaner up and down. Hook my end in there. Slide that generator back down. And this should have us back in business on this lantern, and see if it ends up melting my insides of my generator again. If it does, then I don't know what I'm going to do. There we go. How much fuel's left in this thing? Sounds like not a lot. Oh no, it's pretty full. I'll take the cap off and the fuel ran out of it, so it must have just been not sloshing very much, because it's almost full, not almost empty. Alright, I don't need a blowtorch to light that thing. Actually, I got these big goofy matches in here that I've never used. I want to try one of those. They're supposed to be windproof matches, or stormproof matches. I've had them in my kit for like 2 years now, never even tried one of them.
We got all them long ones there too.
Oh yeah, that's weird. We'll try that out, see what makes it a stormproof. I'm guessing it looks like the sulfur stuff that burns goes halfway down the match, so I'm guessing when it's burning, it's gonna burn aggressively until all that's gone. No. Well, now it's gonna burn aggressively right down to the tip of my finger, probably. Huh, that isn't worth a shit.
Getting complicated. Honey don't strike.
Yeah, this would be very convenient in the storm.
Well, that's why they don't blow out. They don't light either.
I want to see what they do when they light, but yeah, that doesn't. Oh yeah, they definitely do burn. Well, that's going to be right to my fingertips in about 10 seconds here.
At least they're smoky.
I'm burned out before the lantern got any fuel up there.
There you go.
That's convenient. That's way better than using a lighter. Put these back in there and haul them around with me for another 10 years since they're so nice. Okay, let's try this again. Just light it with a lighter. It's passing air. It's blowing the flame down from the lighter. There we go. All right, it is working. Yeah, to run the tip cleaner on this, they're a weird setup. You got to literally shut the lantern off and turn it back on to run the tip cleaner. And then when you get back over here with it in the off position, the tip cleaner's back down so it can bleed off all the pressure. Very odd setup. When they work good, but they're, in my opinion, not as good as just a plain old 220 or 228. You know, my super glue dried. Throw the globe back on. They got a different shaped ball nut on these. The vent's a different shape. Everything on them is different. These vents are actually the same as the vents on the propane ones that take the same globe. So you can, I've seen people paint these green and then get the green vent off one of those double mantle propane lanterns and have a green model 275. All right, that thing's burning. Now we'll just set it off to the side here, and I'm gonna try to tear this other model 275 down to see if I can get the part that my buddy needs. I bought this one. This was in my other video too, because when I screwed up this one over here trying to get it apart, I bought this one as a parts lantern off of eBay for a little bit of nothing. But it's got the box and all the paperwork with it. All right, let's knock this thing down real quick to see if it's got the part in there. I'm guessing it does. It we need from my buddy's lantern. And I'm pretty sure once we do that, I'm not sure if this will be able to all thread back together then or not. Well, that's loose, so it's been apart this far. I know I had it apart this far because I took the valve. The valve that's in here is the one that I broke out of the lantern that's burning right now. And that's only finger tight too. But that is the part that my buddy needs with the Schrader valve in it. That Schrader valve still moves in and out. I don't know if it's... Oh man. that Schrader valve has the exact same problem that the one on Mike's does. The Schrader valve, the part that you put the valve tool on, is busted off. So you can't get this Schrader valve out of there. And that is the exact same problem my buddy Mike's lantern has. We put a new Schrader valve in it. He was tightening it down, just got snug and it snapped off. So that unfortunately is not going to do him any good. I don't think I can get that to come out of there. Now, there is no way to get that out of there. That's a bummer. I was hoping that I had the parts that he needed to get his lantern going. Well, I guess we'll just thread what's left of this poor old thing back together and throw it back in this box and put it back out on the shelf. There might be other parts that I need off of it in the future.
Those lanterns remind me of the thermos lanterns.
Yeah, they kind of do. They're definitely not the best lantern that Coleman ever put out, in my opinion. That is for sure. But when they work good. So I'm gonna clean up my mess here. We'll shut this off, and when I get home I'll swap out that globe for that replacement globe so it doesn't end up just breaking the globe again. And we will light this thing up this afternoon. I'll light it about 4 or 5 this afternoon, let it burn clear through till after dark tonight, and we'll see if it shuts off and relights and everything still works like it's supposed to with that rebuilt generator in there now. Alright folks, the old 275 is sitting out here burning nice. I lit it up early this afternoon, ran it for a couple hours, shut it off, left it off for about an hour, lit it back up again, and it's been running, I don't know, it's getting dark way earlier. I think it's only about 8 o'clock now, but definitely getting dark much earlier. I'm gonna shut it off now, and then I think I'm gonna wrap this video up in the morning. I think I'm gonna grab it, get it back out here, light it up one more time in the morning after it's sat and got completely cold again, to make sure all the moving parts inside the generator still work the way they're supposed to. So I'm going to shut it off now, and we'll light it back up tomorrow morning. Okay, it's tomorrow morning. It's about 5 in the morning. It's 31 degrees outside. This sat out in the unheated garage overnight last night, so it's definitely heat cycled all the way to as warm as it's going to get and all the way down to cold. So I would say if it lights right back up and has no issues this morning, that I'm going to consider this to be fixed. There we go. There we go. I am going to say that this one, I can mark off the list now and say that this one is back in good working order. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please give the video a like. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button if you enjoy the content we're putting out. Leave a comment, share the video if there's anybody that you know you think might enjoy this video. Share the video with them. Come on back next week. We'll definitely have a video, something here for you to watch. Thanks again, folks.